Let's mute the mic. Good evening, good night, good whatever part of the flipping day it is, I don't know. Welcome to the Glasgow Rangers Nation podcast live. I'm your host, Owen James, and this is all your latest Rangers news, views, and updates, guys. We're going to talk all things Rangers tonight, and you are more than welcome to join in with your views and opinions. I've got to say, I'm having a decent laugh tonight. It is quite funny. What is going on at Signal Iduna Park or the Westfalen Stadion, whatever you wish to call it. But the latest score, all the way from Borussia Dortmund, where they are taking on Celtic, obviously the Champions League favourites and winners from this season. I mean, let's face it, they've told us, haven't they, enough that they're going to win the Champions League this season after they destroyed Slovan Bratislava, that elite of European football. Current score, Borussia Dortmund 5, Celtic 1. Okay, that's great. Well done, boys. Well done. That's just fabulous. That really is just absolutely fabulous. You've got it. I mean, let's face it, they are really pathetic, aren't they? I mean, they genuinely are very, very bad. You heard them, didn't you, after that Slovan Bratislava result, where they beat the mighty Slovan Bratislava, how they were going to win the Champions League. That's what they were going to do, apparently. But now we know the truth, don't we? We know that, obviously, that they are nowhere near going to win the Champions League this season. That's obviously just second half, just underway across there. Poll going in the live chat currently. Who do you want to see as the starting right back for Rangers for the rest of this season? 3 choices there: James Tavernier, Casson Virgio or Casson Virgio or whatever he's called, Nana. That seems to be the name of him. I don't know why the hell he's called Nana. Narisheyu, Casson Virgio. I don't know where the hell you get Nana from that. There's no A in that. And of course, as well, the other choice is Dujon Sterling, who has obviously, signed his new deal today. It's been a fantastic day for the club, hasn't it? Really, a brilliant day for the club. And we'll talk about that a little bit. We also want to talk about our main. There's going to be a topic I want to talk about as well. I want to talk about the right-sided issues at the club. I think the left actually looks pretty good now, doesn't it? The left looks pretty good. Some comments in the live chat already. Airwolf says, Celtic helping the coefficient, I see. Good job. Alice Blue says, no Tim's here tonight. Ha ha. And Janet says, Mon the Dortmund evening, Owen. Yeah, I did put something to that effect on my Facebook tonight. I did, however, kind of refer to Celtic in a different way, which I don't think would go down well with Celtic fans or some people. Even some Rangers content creators, actually. Even a Rangers content creator who has his own Celtic podcast as well, naming no names, but I'm sure you know who I'm on about, quite how you can do a Celtic podcast as well as a Rangers podcast. I genuinely don't know. I don't know how you can do that. I couldn't talk about them. I wouldn't even talk to one of their fans. I did the crossover, didn't I, with Ross County. I'd actually, do you know what? There's, apart from perhaps Aberdeen and Celtic, there's realistically no other fans in the SPL I wouldn't talk to. I'd do a crossover with Hearts fans, Hibs fans, Dundee United fans, St Johnstone fans. I'd do a preview pod with any of those guys. I mean, I just wouldn't talk to Celtic fans. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I mean, why would you talk to the great unwashed? Don't understand it. Genuinely don't get it, guys. Genuinely don't get it. Yeah, so there we go. But yeah, please vote in the poll. It's still 5-1 to Dortmund out there. 52 minutes gone. Can with a penalty, Adeyemi with a hat-trick, and Griassi with a pen as well to put them 5-1 up in that game. Yes, Janet, absolutely. We'll obviously get to the Hagi topic. Let's start off with what has been a pretty eventful day at Ibrox, hasn't it? It's been it's a big week. It's a busy week this week. We've obviously got 2 games upcoming this week. Thursday night, it is Rangers versus Lyon at Ibrox in the Europa League. And then obviously Sunday, a very weird time in the league, we take on St Johnstone. We'll have the St Johnstone game for you guys here on the channel. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do the Lyon game. I will be at work when that one's on, so I will have to obviously rewatch that when I come in. So yeah, it's a busy week, isn't it? It's a busy week for Rangers, and a massive week for Rangers. And we'll obviously preview the Lyon game here on the podcast. Sunday League. Oops, I need to change that, guys. It looks like we're playing Sunday League against St Johnstone. I mean, those, it's let's face it, St Johnstone are a bit of a Sunday League team anyway, aren't they? But yeah, we've got a big week this week. So let's start off with the first topic. The first topic, that Janet's kind of already alluded to, was that good to see Hagi back in the fold. James is hoping for 7-1 or 8-1. James make it 9. And Graham Brown in the live chat says 10 would be better. Lol. It would be 9 if that would make the record Champions League loss. I mean, come on, let's face it. Anything like that would be very, very funny. But yeah, let's talk about the first story of the day. We are going to get to talk about the right side issues at Rangers shortly. RFC 1872, how are you doing, buddy? Good to have you here. Let's talk Hagi. Let's talk Yanis Hagi. Look, news today that Yanis Hagi has been re-involved. Back in the first team. May says it's superb. Yeah, it is superb. So Hagi's back. Yeah, and as I said on the video earlier, guess who's back? Back again. Hagi's back. Tell your friends. Yes, Yanis Hagi is back in the first team fold. Apologies for the singing, guys. I know that's not great. But Yanis is back. So Yanis is back in the first team fold. And I think this is great news for Rangers. I really like Yanis Hagi as a player. Look, I read some stuff on Facebook. Look, I know social media is a genuinely bad place to read stuff. I mean, let's face it, social media is full of poison, isn't it? I mean, you go on social media and you go on X, you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, and you kind of, say that it's not the best of places, is it? I mean, there's a lot of bile spewed there. There's a lot of stuff written there. And there's a lot of people, kind of say a lot of stuff that perhaps they'd come back to regret them. I know I've done that. But Yanis is back. Now, look, the thing I'm going to say is this, guys. This is what I want to say. If you're going to sit there and you're going to criticize Yanis Hagi, if you're going to say, oh, he's crap, he's too slow, he's not up to the job, he's a poor player, he's not a good player, he's not good enough, yada, yada, yada. I don't think you're actually kind of, thinking logically about this. Go back and watch the Euros. Just go back and watch Romania's games at the Euros that Yanis Hagi was involved in. Just go back and check them out, guys, because I'll tell you this. If you go back and check out Yanis's games at the Euros, you'll see a really good player, a really talented player. A player that played well against the Netherlands, who went on to the semi-finals, a player who played well in all Romania's games, and actually looked a good footballer at an international tournament against some of the best players in Europe. Now, if you're sitting there on your sofa at home or on your bed or wherever you're sitting and you're saying, it's not, Yanis Hagi's not Zinedine. Yeah, he's not Zinedine Zidane. Yeah, I get that. He's not as good as his dad. Well, yeah, okay, I get that. He's not as good as his dad. But if you're saying there that he's crap and having him back's not a major benefit to Rangers, I genuinely think you're kind of living in some sort of cloud cuckoo fantasy land. Like I said, go back and watch the Euros. Go back and check out the Euros and look at how he played against top players and top teams. Look at how he played against the Netherlands. That's a team that got to the semis. That's a team that's packed full of talent. Reinders, Cody Gakpo, Virgil van Dijk, De Jong, quality players there. Go and check that out. Look at how he did in that game. And he actually looked decent. He actually looked a good footballer. And personally, I'm excited to actually see Yanis play, and link up with Bayrami. I think that's a really interesting one for me. The link up between Bayrami and obviously with Yanis Hagi. James says, never been a massive fan of Hagi, but it's great to have an extra option in the squad. This is the thing, James. And that's James, I've got to say, I applaud your opinion, mate. Proper applaud your opinion, because look, you get it. Even though you say it's not, you're not a big fan of Yanis, you see the positives of having him back in the squad. This is a lad that that was earning 21,000 pounds a week, and he's earning a substantial amount of money, and we're not using him. I mean, why are we not using him? He's a good footballer, and I think if you put him up against the likes of St Johnstone, the likes of Dundee United, Hibs, Hearts, St John, I've said St Johnstone, but those teams, he's going to impress. He's going to look good. He's going to look better than all those teams. So I don't honestly get the anti-Hagi feeling amongst some of our fans. I genuinely don't. D. Anderson says here, Phil's next press conference is going to be awkward. Yeah, it certainly is. I want to talk about that in a minute. Actually, I've got something. I love this scoreline, says DL2. Obviously, the Celtic game. Saying Hagi is back is the same as saying Fraser has a chance of playing left back. Let's see, says Bluebells. True. The injury really affected him, says Raining Cats and Dogs. Can only be a good thing and will help if we're looking to sell him in the future. This is what I said on the video, RFC 1872. If we're looking to ship him on in January or in the summer, if he comes in and he plays well in the league and he plays well in the cup and he plays well when he's used, then it's only going to boost his value. If he's sitting in the B team and rotting and he's not playing and teams have got this common consent that, they don't want him, it's going to be another Todd Cantwell situation, isn't it? Where we're going to get sort of ridiculously small fee for a player that, is a top player. And it's the right move by the club. And like I said, if you're not a fan of Hagi, great, you're not a fan of Hagi. But look, at the end of the day, look at this as a terms of we're getting Hagi back in the team and we're getting Hagi back in the team to increase his value, even if you don't want him in the team. RFC 1872 says better than being in the B team anyway, that's for sure. Go back and watch that game in Europe just before COVID hit. Yeah, Mays agreed, played well. It was Braga, wasn't it? Anyone watching Celtic getting pumped? Also glad to see Sterling. So we are going to get to that story. No midfielder since Hagi has produced his goal contributions. Absolutely. Agreed, Bluebells. Will not watch or listen to that mob on their games. I've got to say, mate, I only watch Celtic when they play us. That's the only time I'll ever watch them. 28 goal contributions in his last full season. What's not to want? Great point from Bluebells there. Great point there. Absolutely. Look, I mean, the other thing apparently is, as well as regards the whole Hagi situation, is that according to the papers and the press, is that the contract situation has now been resolved. That whole situation, whether it was a $6,000 pay rise or a 1.2 to 1.4 million payment to Genk, that has all now been kind of sorted out and dealt with. But according to the papers, a lot of Rangers players, top Rangers players, apparently leaders in the dressing room, actually went to Philippe Clement and to Niels Koppen and said that they wanted Hagi back in the squad. So there was a player power move there to get Hagi back, apparently. That's really fascinating that the players actually backed Yanis. That there was a number of apparently top players within the squad who went to Philippe Clement and basically said, look, you need to put Yanis back in the squad. You need to involve him again. You need to give him a chance. It's interesting to see the players sticking together, and that's actually quite encouraging to hear the players sticking together on this one. It really is. It's nice to see a kind of team camaraderie coming into the team and a real team bonding experience, and the fact that players are going there and supporting him, and some of these leaders in the dressing room, guys that know Yanis. So you've got to kind of think, well, in this present squad, who knows Yanis? Who knows what Yanis can produce? And it's not as many as it used to be, because obviously there's a lot of players who've obviously left the squad. But you look at, obviously John Suter knows the type of player that Yanis is. James Tavernier knows the type of player that he is. Ridvan Yilmaz knows the type of player that he is. Jack Butland does. It's interesting that some of these senior players have gone to Philippe Clement and quite clearly said, we want Yanis back. We want Yanis involved with the squad. So, yeah, it's fascinating to see. Really, really is. Stuart says, so glad Hagi is back. I am too, Stuart. I mean, I like Yanis Hagi. I think he's a good footballer. He's technically very, very good. He's technically very able, technically very talented. But yeah, absolutely. Bluebell says contract situation was resolved 2 months ago, and both Hagi and Lawrence took a contract amendment. Then Hagi went online and PC didn't like it. This is a PC problem, not a Hagi problem like TC. Thank you for that news, Bluebells. And like I said, it's interesting to see that the players backing the re-involvement of Hagi. Look, I don't personally, Bluebells, blame Hagi for going online and kind of trying to put his side of the story. I mean, I know that this whole Instagram and this whole social media thing is a kind of a big, oh God, please stay off social media, Rangers players. Please kind of ignore the social media Rangers players. But, the fact that someone's gone out there and he's actually put, the fact that he wants to play for the club, that he actually cares about playing for the club, for me, is a massive positive. It's something that you do like to see. You really do. The fact that this is a guy who wants to be at this club, that wants to play for this club, and I think that's half the battle, isn't it? If you've got a player that actually wants to be at this club and wants to play for it, that's what you want to see. At the end of the day, that's what we want to see. We want to see players that want to play for Rangers, that want to be out there fighting for the team. Absolutely. Hagi plays like he loves football, not the money, says Stuart. Good point. Don't make a Hagi of it or we'll have a complete disarray, says Acoustic. Time we had a strong dressing room, get back to the 9 in a row mentality, Graham Brown says. I agree, Graham. You know, leaders in the dressing room. We need leaders in the dressing room. We need people who are going to come in and make a real difference. Guys, remember to vote in the poll. We've got a poll running at the moment. Who should be starting right back for Rangers? 12% of you vote for James Tavernier. 28% of you voting for Big Cass. And 60% of you currently going for Dujon Sterling. I agree, Janet. He has to hit the ground running. And I think the thing with that, Janet, is that, you know, Yanis has been playing for the B team. So he's clearly got a match fitness day. He's got a match sharpness. He's been playing, you know, B team games. He's been playing the whole game. He's got 90 minutes in his legs. He's been training regularly. And I think one of the things you've got to kind of say about Yanis, and you've got to kind of praise about Yanis, is the whole situation where he's been very professional about this. You know, he hasn't spat his dummy out even. He hasn't thrown his toys out the pram. You know, he's coming to work every day. He's trained every day. He's worked hard every day. You know, he's done the right thing. He really has. And, you know, he for me, he's behaved like a professional. He really has, you know, and I think that's really sort of in his favour, and I really hope that Philippe Clement is prepared to give him a chance. Now, quite where he's going to use Hagi, I don't know. You know, he might use him as a 10 in relief of Lawrence, but then we've got Bayrami. He might even use him alongside Barron. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, one of the things that really stood out for me in that game against the game weekend against who we played again? Against Hibs, that was it. Jesus, it's been a long day. Yeah, I think, you know, that in that game that we played against Hibs was, you know, without Diamande, who was obviously injured. We seem to be really lacking something in the midfield, and I don't think you can use Raskan and play. So for me, that was one that was positive there. That was a real positive. I think Hagi coming back in, Hagi could be used in that role alongside no Acoustic. He's not a goalkeeper. You know, he could be used alongside Connor Barron. You know, I think that's a positive for me, and I think having more options there, you know, could be a really good thing. With, you know, the more options you have in midfield, the more players you have, the more possibilities that you have, or, you know, is good for the club. And the more options we have in midfield as well, an area where we're light. And I think, you know, if you see Hagi buttonholed as a 10, then perhaps you're not actually looking at Yanis, the whole Yanis, you know, in terms of what he can provide for the club. And I think, you know, he could even play as an 8 alongside Connor Barron in relief of Diamande. I think he could actually do that job. So, look, for me, it's, you know, at the end of the day, I think this is a positive. To have Yanis back is really good news. So, you know, let's obviously celebrate that news today. You know, good news indeed. Janet, nice introduction. Glad Sterling signed a new contract. Yeah, more positive news today from the club. Obviously, that, you know, obviously that Dujon Sterling has signed his new deal. He will be with the club until May 2028. And, you know, as I said on the video earlier, this is good news because of the fact that that we are dealing with yes, it is now 6-1 to Dortmund. It is now Borussia Dortmund 6, Celtic 1. You've got to say that's a little bit embarrassing. Yeah, absolutely. A little bit embarrassing. Come on, Dortmund, says DL2. Yeah, that's the latest score, guys. If you haven't seen the latest score, if you're not keeping on top of it, Borussia 6, Celtic 1. That's a little tad embarrassing given the situation, but 6-1 down now, Celtic 6. That's unfortunate, says DeAnderson. It's something, DeAnderson. It's certainly something. But yeah, Dujon Sterling, this kind of feeds into this right-sided issue that I've got at the club at this moment in time. I think the left side of the team looks good. I genuinely do. You know, I think you look at the left side of the club, and if everybody's fit, I'm talking now. Let's put it into a positive slant. If everybody's fit, which, you know, we know is kind of you know, weird to think of. Obviously, every Rangers player been fit, and every Rangers player been available, and every Rangers player been out there. That is a weird thing to think of, isn't it? Absolutely. But if Cortez is fit, Bayrami's fit, I think left-sided wise, we're quite well catered for. We've got Hiefte to play left, we've got Fraser to play left, we've got Ridvan to play left. I was waiting for this comment. How long before this came out? Beating Dortmund away isn't for everyone. Lol. Caleb, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Maze, yeah, absolutely. James says here, I'm not making any stupid comments tonight because they always come back to bite me. Mate, same here, mate. Same here. Didn't realize. No worries, mate. Absolutely no worries whatsoever. Guys, please obviously smash the like. Obviously support the channel. You can become a member for as little as 99p. And obviously if you want to support as well with a super chat or a super sticker, please obviously hit that and help out. But let's get back to this. So Dujon Sterling signs a new contract. It's great news. I mean, Dujon, for me, is a top player. He's a good player. He's a leader. He's someone who, whenever you see him go out there on the park, he's someone who always gives everything. He gives 110% wherever he's played. And I think he's the ultimate professional, isn't he? He's not one of these players that will sulk if he's not played in his position. He's not one of these players that's going to come out and say, oh, I don't want to play there. I want to play here. This is my position. I don't want to play. He's not that type of guy, is he? He's played CDM. He's played central midfield. He's played right wing. He's played left wing. He's played right back. He's played central defence. I think the only places he hasn't played, he's played left back. I think the only places he hasn't played is number 10 and striker. That's it. He literally hasn't played number 10 or striker. So literally, Dujon's done every job on and goalkeeper, obviously. But yeah, 3 positions he hasn't played: goalkeeper, number 10, and striker. The only 3 positions he has not yet taken up for Rangers. I mean, I'll be honest with you. One of the downsides for him is that he could be a victim of his own utility. The fact that he can play in so many different positions kind of makes him a bench player, kind of makes him a utility player, kind of makes him too invaluable to Philippe Clement to kind of to put him down to one place, to put him on, in terms of to put him on the bench, to put him in a starting place, because Clement, might see him as being, well, I put him at right back and I stay him at right back, then I'm losing a central midfielder, or I'm losing a winger, or I'm losing an option there. I mean, that obviously is the downside. And that's always the way. I think if you can play a number of different positions and you are equally comfortable playing a number of different positions, you do to some degree disadvantage yourself from that position, that you don't have a specialist position. Alice says here, Sterling is very shy, looks very embarrassed when he gets subbed on. True. Have you ever seen a utility player move for big money? It needs sorting out such a waste. Bluebells, that's a brilliant point. I mean, if we're truly going to get this, this trading model up and running, I agree with you, but he needs to kind of cement down one position to kind of say that this is my position, this is where I'm good. So when teams come looking for a particular player, they can say, well, Dujon Sterling's a brilliant right back, or he's a brilliant midfielder, or he's a brilliant winger. He's brilliant at all these things. So, where is he best? Really does. Look, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think looking at it, he's not a winger because he hasn't got the skills, the talent to go past a player. A winger for me is someone who's got a trick, who's got a bit of just that ability to do something special when he's one-on-one, to skin someone and go past them. Sterling hasn't really got that. He's not a central midfielder either. I mean, I think he can fill in there and do a job there. He's not really a CDM. He hasn't got the vision of passing. He hasn't got the control over the game. If you're saying that he's going to play in midfield, he's going to be a 6. Now, a modern 6 is very much the conductor. He's the guy who sits at the base of the midfield. He controls the game. He breaks up the game and then distributes the ball with vision. I don't think he has that at all. So I think, realistically, defence is his best position. And I think, realistically, right back or centre back, the 2 positions I can see him being really strong at. Now, I'll be honest with you. The thing here for me is that, centre back wise, he's not going to break up Proper and Suter. For me, Proper and Suter look like the central defensive pairing. They look like the 2 guys that Clement trusts. They seem to be developing a real understanding. They seem to be reading each other's game very well. And I think one of the things that you've got to do, for me, if you're going to be successful as a defensive unit is you keep your centre backs the same. So your centre backs build up a relationship. They know how each other play. They know how each other move. They know how each other reads the game, and they kind of develop an understanding. And you look at the best teams over the eras, and they've all had solid central defensive pairings that you haven't been broken up. And I think, with Suter and Proper, we've got that. The fact we've obviously still got Big Leon as well to come into the squad. He's a very talented central defender. So I don't see the centre half position as being somewhere that Sterling can play. So, right back is kind of the place, isn't it? And I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. If we look at the right back position and you kind of look at it at this moment in time, our right back is appalling. I mean, our right back is so poor. And Dujon Sterling is a specialist right back. He is. That's where he's played his career recently. He did start out as a centre forward, funnily enough. But at Chelsea, he developed into a right back. He went to Stoke on loan, was a right back. He was signed as a right back. I know for me, we've got to start seeing him playing right back. We've got to start seeing him playing in that position. And I think as a right back even, he brings a lot to the party. He really does. He's quick. He's strong. He can attack now. I think one of the downsides of Sterling when he first came in was the attacking side of his game. The offensive side of his game wasn't as good. But the fact that he's now played in midfield, he's played as a winger, I think that's actually come on a lot. And his delivery from set pieces, his delivery from crosses has got better. So I think that is a positive. Defensively, he is a massive amount better than James Tavernier as a right back, as a defensive right back. So I do feel that, going forward, he is the best option. He really genuinely is. So, look, I hope that, there is some sort of understanding there between the manager and between Dujon that he will get a fair crack at the whip, that he'll get a chance to play at right back, because I think he's the future. He is the future. James Tavernier is the past. He really is. And as a club, we need to be moving on. We need to be putting in a player who is fresh, who is good at his job, who is going to be quick, who's not going to be a weak spot. And you look at every game we've played this season, where have the majority of the attacks come against us? Down our right side. And I think, as I said on the video earlier, on the podcast earlier, John Suter pulled out of position how many times on Sunday because he was having to cover for Tav. Raskan, Barron dropping into right back a number of times because they were covering for Tav. Why have we got to build a team just to cover for Tav? It, to me, is wrong. And I honestly believe that we need to obviously put Sterling in there. Graham Brown says the pact between Boydie and Sutton will be comedy gold later. Laughing my ass off. We can't all beat Dortmund, lads. RFC 1870, when we play them, we need to go at their defence and don't sit off them. I agree. Septic are pure pish. They are. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sterling cares how we play. He's honest. Absolutely. He is 100%. Sterling's played every position, bar his own natural position. For fuck's sake, says Geordie. Good point. What's the chances of Tav getting sold in January? I mean, that's a good shout. I mean, is it a possibility? Is there definitely a possibility? I don't know. He's not Bluebells. He's just a bit eccentric, shall we say. But, Dujon, for me, really does need to be given a fair crack at the whip at right back. He really does. And that's the poll we're currently running. That is the poll in the live chat. Obviously, please check that out. Please, obviously, vote in the poll. Still, Dortmund 6, Celtic 1, 76 minutes gone at the Westfalen Stadion. Acoustic, you want to donate 20 quid? Do it, mate. Do it. Okay, so, right, let's move it along now. So, I said, the Rangers' left side looks good to me. It really does. We've got, a situation where we've got Shefte, we've got Ridvan, we've got Fraser, we've got Cortez, we've got Bayrami. There's a lot of players that can play left sides. I don't think the left side of the team is a huge issue or is a problem for Rangers. I really don't. I think we've got a lot of talent on that left side. James says, I know I said I'm not saying anything stupid, but Dreamland in Deutschland isn't for everyone. Lol. Yeah, absolutely, mate. That's funny. It really is. I mean, it's almost poetic. I mean, after listening to, because they beat the mighty Slovan Bratislava, it really is. It really, really is a situation where I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. It really is a situation where The left side's fine, but the right side worries me. It really does worry me. It really is a situation. Geordie says, just got a message from my mate at work who's a Celtic fan. He's fuming. Work be fun tomorrow, boys. Sound, Geordie, you take the piss. Can he see Tav leaving? In honesty, me neither. Stuart Henderson says, just think we got standing and clapping German fans in Germany and at Ibrox, says Stuart. Absolutely, buddy. We did beat Dortmund. The right side, though. Yeah, this is the issue. I mean, for me at the moment, the right side, Tav and Tierney, looks poor. It looks really, really poor. It really does. You know, you've got Tavernier, who is way, way past his best as a player, who just isn't, you know, the same player he was 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So, you know, that's an issue. That is a massive, massive issue. Tierney, for me, looks poor. I mean, Tierney really does look a very, very bad player. I mean, I know that Clement's kind of come out and tried to defend him a little bit and said, oh, look, you know, he hasn't played a lot of football last season. He needs time. He needs, you know, to get fit again. He needs to get back with it again. The thing I'd say about that is that, you know, Tav he's gone. He's past his best. He really genuinely is. And I think, you know, it really is a situation where we do need to replace him. And Tierney, for me, just looks poor. And what makes the whole Tierney situation even worse for me is the fact that, you know, that Abdallah Sima tonight. I don't know if any of you have seen the Champions League game, RB Salzburg against Brest, Stade Brest, which I still think is a hilarious name, by the way. Against Stade Brest, finished 4-0 to Brest away at Salzburg. And guess what? Sima scored twice. I mean, that's 3 goals in 2 Champions League goals in 2 Champions League games for Abdallah. It's just so frustrating. It really is to see Abdallah. I mean, look, I'm all behind Abda. You know, I wish Abda all the best, and I hope he has a really successful time at Brest. He does really well at Brest. Of course, I do. But you know, at the end of the day, I genuinely, I'm sad that we've ended up with Tierney, who looks a one-trick pony. He really does look a one-trick pony. Some people are reporting it's 7-1. Something my scoreline has not updated yet. He needs to stop playing as much simple as that, says RFC. What else have we got? Tav played a blinder that game, that season, that he's bound to be looking back at them matches and thinking, where did it all go wrong? This isn't a Tav thing. He doesn't pick himself, says Bluebells. It's a good day. Hagi is back. Sterling is back. And they're 6-1 down. Fat goalie 3. Yeah, it is now 7-1 confirmed. No, for the first time they've got hammered 7-1. You're impressive Scottish football. Seema said no to us. We did all we did could to sign him. Says Bluebells. I mean, that is embarrassing, guys. I mean, look at that. I mean, have a little look. Have a little look. I mean, that is hilarious. That is proper funny. 7-1. I mean, it really is genuinely funny. But no, I mean, Tierney to me looks a one-trick pony. I mean, the problem is that you look at Tierney and you know how to defend against Tierney. All you've got to do is show him outside. You know, as a defender defending against Tierney, just show him outside. He can't do anything. He always wants to come in on his right foot. He's a one-trick pony. And I'd say that Ross McCausland, you know, is even a better player than Václav Tierney. I really do believe that. You know, Václav Tierney is absolutely piss poor at this moment in time. And I worry that he's, you know, on loan here. And I hope that obviously at the end of the season, we just return him to Wolfsburg and we say, nah, you're all right. No, thank you. You know, I don't think he's the option. First British team to concede 5 goals at half-time, says Aldo. Roger's face there, says Raining Cats and Dogs. Bobby Finley says, so must for helping with the coefficients. Agreed. I've got to say, you know, the biggest thing for me is after the, you know, beating Slovan Bratislava, the mighty Slovan Bratislava, how they were going to win the Champions League, get through to the knockout stages and beat everyone. It's kind of really is funny. I mean, Man City are beating Slovan 4-0 away. And I don't think it's even a very strong Man City team they've put out there. No, they've put out quite a few of their other players. So yeah, I don't think that's great. Bluebell says, Chetty, in my opinion, has been asked to play inverted. He never played so one-dimensional before coming to us. In my opinion, it's a PC thing. I mean, obviously, you know, you've got to look at it in terms of, you know, Philippe Clement does pick the team. He does decide the tactics. He does tell the players how to play. I mean, I'd be interested at seeing Tierney on the left. I really would. He's naturally left-footed. Put him on the left side. Ask him to play left side. Ask him to, go outside people and actually whip the ball into the box. So for me, I'd actually look at it in terms of, can we use Tierney on the left? Maybe, with Cortez out, move Bayrami into the 10 role, rest Lawrence, put McCausland on the right. These are all options we need to be looking at. But I still see that the right side of the team, in terms of the right wing position, is a problem. I think, that we've got the answer at right back, whether we put Sterling in there or Casanvejo in there. And what's kind of weird is the fact that Casanvejo is here on loan. So why are we not using him more? That's a question, isn't it? I'd rather see one of those two start than James Tavernier. I really would. And like I said, I know Bluebells, as you've said, Tav doesn't pick the team. Well, we believe he doesn't pick the team. I mean, it may be that Tav's got something in his contract, in terms of he has to play this certain percentage of games. That Tav has it written into his contract that he has to play 95, 98% of the games, so he can't be dropped. I mean, that is obviously an issue. And before any of you say that, that's a load of rubbish, Owen, I've actually got it on good authority from somebody in the know who's looked at footballers' contracts, that certain players, certain experienced players actually do have it put in their contract that they have to play a certain percentage of the games within a season. They have to play a certain percentage of the minutes within a season, so that they can't be forced out, they can't be dropped. That is actually in players' contracts. Like I said, I have that on good authority from someone in the game, someone who actually has played the game, and it has shown me a contract that actually shows you that there is that actual thing. That there is a certain percentage of games that they need to play and they have to play. So it may be that James Tavernier has within his contract that he has to play a certain percentage of the games. We don't know that. Obviously, you don't get to find out players' contracts. It's subject to GDPR. You're not allowed to look at contracts until perhaps they show them after the fact or they talk about in autobiographies. But the right side of the team does essentially worry me. I think 10-wise, I think Lawrence is coming into form. We've got Hagi back now. We've got Bayrami. So there's options there. Left side, I think he's well catered for. Yilmaz is on his way back. Hiefte, Fraser. You've got Cortez. You've got Bayrami can play left wing. So again, I think there's a number of players there. There's Barron, there's Raskin, Diamonde, Hagi. There's the number of options there to play in midfield. So I'm not worried there about that, but I am slightly worried about the right side of the team now. I think, like I said, we have got the right backs in the squad in Casemiro and Sterling. We now just need to use them and actually let them play. I think that's a big thing. So for me, going forward, I need to see a change at right back. I want to see, in terms of the right wing position, McCausland, I think it is a short-term option there. But I do think in January, that's a position we do need to address. We really do. Raining Cats and Dogs says that's one if that's the case. He's talking about the contracts thing, mate. Like I said, I know that is a fact. It's not actually I'm not making this up. I genuinely am talking facts, that this is a genuine fact, that it is in footballers' contracts that some footballers' contracts that they have to play a certain percentage of games in a given season. Absolutely. That's wild. It is, yeah, it is wild. Absolutely wild. 100%. Left back, we're all good. We are. I think that's the one position we are actually really strong in at left back. I mean, we've got Yilmaz, we've got Hiefte, we've got Fraser. I mean, you've got three top players there. What's the betting? Dortmund will be world class now. They were shit when we beat them, according to that mob. Agreed. Need to see more of Casa for right back. Yeah. Bluebell says Cortez is natural right wing. Again, it's a PC thing. He plays him inverted. Not sure how much more clear I can make this. PC is the problem. I agree. Look, I'm just trying to offer options here, Bluebells. I'm not saying you're wrong, buddy. I agree. It's one of the things that frustrates the hell out of me, Bluebells, that he plays players not in their natural position. I mean, Bayrami is a 10, but he's being played left wing. Fabio, look, whatever you think about Fabio Silva, last season, Fabio Silva is not a left winger. He's a 10 or a 9.5. So for me, mate, he should be played in his natural position. I think if we play Silva as a 10 or we play Silva as a 9, we see the best of him. But instead, he puts him on the left wing and we don't see the best of him. So for me, mate, I agree with you. PC does do this. He is very much on this playing square pegs in round holes, and it doesn't work for me. Can't argue that Dortmund was shite when we played us, but they had Bellingham and Haaland. Yes, Haaland was injured, but they still had him. I don't care about Celtic, but just one slight interest since they are losing 7-1. How long have they left to play? Stuart, there is 2 minutes left of regulation time in that game, mate. Dortmund must fancy singing we want 50. Yeah, it's a pity that Tav Speed has gone off a cliff. Sterling, RFC 1872 says, I do believe Sterling could play right back. No bother. Well, he is a right back, mate. He is a right back. Imagine 50-0. That would be so funny. Yeah, it would be, mate. Not going to happen now, though. Seems like a good 90% of our squad are attack. It does at the moment, doesn't it? Sterling might be needed in midfield sometimes, though. I think, though, once we've got Hagi back, mate, we've got options there now. We've got Barron and Raskin play the 6 role. Dio and Hagi can play the 8 role. Dowell can play the 8 role. Bailey Rice, Cole McKinnon. I think there's a lot of options there if you actually use them and you actually play them. So for me, I don't see that as big of an issue, mate. But yeah, that's where we're up to. So the right side is a bit of an issue for me. The left side is strong. And I think it's been a really positive day for the club. I mean, let's obviously look at it that way. It's been a really positive day for the club. We've had a situation where we've gone out there and we've obviously, got Hagi back in the first team squad. We've got Sterling tied down to a new deal. It's all, very, very positive, and it's been a really good day for the club. And let's celebrate the positive of today. Yes, the performance on Sunday was shit, but we still got 3 points. It's going to be a really tough week with Lyon on Thursday, and obviously the game against St Johnstone on Sunday. But let's celebrate the positives here today. Hagi's back. Sterling signed a new deal. That's the positives, mate. That's the positives. Bluebell says, honestly, see the quality in the team being badly used. That's all. Time will tell. But I'm so 1 foot on the train with PC. Too many bad decisions too often, and we are honking to watch. Look, Bluebells, I'm gonna put this out there. I'm not gonna come out and I'm not gonna say sacked Clement. I'm not gonna say sack Clement, right? But I am gonna say he does make some very weird decisions. I mean, he is very inflexible when it comes to formations and shapes. He is very much square pegs in round holes in terms of formations. And I think that's something we need to work on. So I do think there is problems there that need to be addressed. I do think that there is problems there that need to be looked at. I agree with you. And I think that he needs to develop more of a flexibility. He needs to play players in their positions. He needs to, look at getting the best. You're going to get the best out of players if you play them in their natural position, if you actually give them a natural way of playing. I really do agree with that. 100%. I do think that is something you need to do. But look, in terms of best teams, strongest teams, what is Rangers' strongest team? How could Rangers be best suited to go out and compete? With Celtic, with Aberdeen as well now. I mean, Aberdeen are looking very, very good indeed. I would like to see this team given an outing at some point this season. So this is the team that I would like to see given an outing at some point this season. I'm going to put it in the live chat. I'll get to your comments in a minute. So Butland in goal, right back Sterling, Suter, Proper, and Ridvan at left back. Actually, I've got that team wrong. Apologies. I'm just going to come out of now. I need to change that. I need to get rid of that comment. Let's delete that comment and let's put it in via the banners. Let's do it an easy way. So this is my team. Okay, so I'm going to put a team out there. I want you to have a look at this team and tell me what you think. Okay, tell me what you think of this team. This is a team I'd like to see at some point get a run out for Rangers this season. So this is my idea. This is my plan. And like I said, you may look at this and go, "Thank fuck you're not the manager, Eric." I really do. You may actually look at it and go, "No, that's a shit team. That's not going to work." And I don't for a minute expect Clement to actually play this team. I really don't. But this is my team. Okay, here we go. So my team is Butland in goal, Sterling at right back. Playing Sterling in his position, play him at right back. Suter and Proper in central defence, because I think they're becoming a very effective pairing. Ridvan at left back. Barron and Dio as the 2. Cortez on the right. Bayrami in the 10 role. Hiefte on the left wing. Now, I think with his speed, his delivery, his ability, I genuinely can see him actually being able to do that. And Dessa's up top. Let me know what you think of that. What do you think of that team? I think that's got more of a balance to it. I really do. Geordie says, I honestly thought Dowell went out in the summer. I mean, watched that game on Sunday and thought, when the fuck did we recall Dowell? Yeah, I don't get Dowell. I don't get Dowell. Bluebell says he's got onto the next Old Firm for me, Owen. I want to see him prove me wrong, mate. Me too, mate. Absolutely. I'd love to see him prove that. I think if we lose the next Old Firm, Bluebells, he's got to go. He's got to go. I'd swap Ridvan for Hiefte at this point. Who would you play left wing then, mate? Airwolf says 7-1. Agreed, Geordie. Bluebells, here's his team. Butland, Sterling, Proper, Soapy and Yilmaz. Baron and Dio, Yefte left wing. Bayrami, Cherney and Igman. I think you mean there. Iga Messi. I like that, mate. I like that. Interesting team, mate. Interesting team selection there. But yeah, a decent team. I think some of the criticism that Igman's come in for over the last few weeks has been pretty unfair, if I'm being honest with you, mate. I think, the shit that he's put up with, and I think, based on one game, I think he is piss poor. I really do think it is. I genuinely think it is. Let's have a quick look at those Champions League results before we head off tonight. All these going into stoppage time tonight, these games. Let's have a look. May as well go with that. Janet says here, done and dusted, well done, Dortmund. So scores so far tonight that are finishing off. So Salzburg 0, Brest 4. So I think that's funny. Stuttgart 1, Prague 1, Dortmund 7, Celtic 1, PSV 1, Sporting 1. I wonder if did Gyökeres score tonight? No, he didn't. Oh my God, Victor Gyökeres didn't score. Shock, horror. Barcelona 5, Young Boys 0. I'll resist doing the Barca thrashing the young boys joke. Leverkusen 1, Milan 0. Milan starting off the campaign with 2 defeats. Inter 4, Crvena Zvezda 0. Arsenal 2, PSG 0. That's a good result for Arsenal, sending a message around Europe that they are a team to be reckoned with. I like Arsenal. I've got a soft spot for Arsenal. I've got a soft spot for Mikel Arteta, former Rangers player. Okay, guys, thank you for those of you who've come in tonight for a later podcast tonight. I had a few things to take care of tonight. We'll be back in the morning to preview the Lyon game. So please come and join us for that. Look out for that. I'm about to schedule it, so please look out for it. Thank you for joining me. Please smash the like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. As always, guys, it has been a pleasure to speak to you. I don't know what the hell has happened there. Can you still see me? Yes, you can. Thank you for watching. Remember always, we are the people.